My cousin, a teen female, has been staying with my mom and stepdad because one of her parents had a medical emergency and will need rest and care for about a month. My cousin will be here while that goes on. I don't visit my mom or stepdad much anymore because, in my opinion, they're huge idiots who don't deserve kids. Since my cousin has been there, I've been visiting more to keep an eye on her. She's staying in what used to be my old room and now the spare bedroom. The thing about this room is if the window is open, the door will slam even when you close it gently. This must have happened to my cousin, and my stepdad took the door off for slamming it. This has happened to me before when I was a kid. I was lucky enough to have a father threaten to beat his butt if I didn't have a door to change behind, especially with the room being right across from the parents. Also, I'm nearly 99% certain my mom and stepdad knew about the wind. They're just idiots. So since that happened with my cousin, I came over one day and started taking pics of the door, pics that show that the parents can see right through it from their rooms. They obviously ask what the heck I'm doing, and I tell them, I said I'm taking pics for the police and CPS. They ask why, and I said because stepdad is acting like a creep, making a little girl stay in a room with no door where she must change, and you idiots have the perfect view into her room. It's a week later now and the door is on. My cousin's been texting me that they treat her much better now, and my stepdad won't even talk to her. She's grateful for that. It might have been a bit extreme, but I didn't know what would get these people to stop, other than the threat of the government and people thinking bad about them. Am I the idiot for threatening my stepdad so he would give my cousin's door back? Edit. She's not allowed to change in the bathroom. No one's been allowed to since I was a child. They say it's to prevent dirty clothes from being left there, and since the only toilet is in there, they don't like it for that reason as well. Your stepdad absolutely sounds like a piece of crap, and unfortunately, your mom is not much better. What kind of person takes the door away from someone, especially a young teen girl, if you don't have ulterior motives? Not the idiot, and I wish I had the cash to send you a muffin basket. My room at my parents' place had the same open window and door slam problem. My dad's solution was to have a door stopper, not remove the whole darn door. Privacy is much more important than the occasional accidental slam. I'm glad you've made it known that you're willing to ensure that cousin is treated with more consideration than those two family members were willing to show her. Poor kid. Good thing you're around to help protect her. Sucks all the adults in your lives are garbage people. Everyone's the idiot. Growing up poor with relatives, we changed in the bathroom for privacy. I'm not saying I know your folks and their intentions, but in the South, it's not uncommon for parents to take down the door as a punishment. I've done it to both my sons and both my daughters when they were being sneaky with electronics, violating curfews for phones and gaming, etc. Bad grades or behavior. It wasn't common, but was done with good intent. A few months ago, my 29 male, girlfriend 28, was celebrating a drinking holiday with her friends. She was excited for me to come and celebrate, but in the weeks leading up to it, I told her I don't like drinking, especially during the day, and I'd come for the parade, then go hang out with a close friend that I hadn't seen in over 6 months. She said she was fine with this. We mutually agreed upon a time I would pick her up later that evening. The day of the event, after I left the parade while she and her friends went to bars and continued drinking, she called me 3 hours earlier than the time we agreed on to pick her up because she didn't want to stay out. As kindly and gently as possible, I asked if she could wait just one more hour because I had only been with this friend for 45 minutes, to which she replied, "Fine, I'll just walk home." 30 minutes later, she called again and asked what time I was going to be there. Instead of standing my ground, I left to pick her up, still 1.5 hours before our previous agreed upon time. When I went to pick her up, she was extremely rude, saying I didn't care about her. It was extremely quiet until she said, "I should have just gone home with my ex, who I saw at the bar. I'd be having more fun." She also said, "You're not fun anymore," and "There's something really mean I can say about you, but I'm not going to say it." I broke down crying and told her I didn't deserve any of this. Her excuse the next day was that she was blackout intoxicated and was upset with me. Well, the next week we were talking about crying and she said, "I saw you cry last week," in a very nonchalant manner, meaning she was lying about being blackout intoxicated. It's been 2 months since then, and I just can't get over this. Generally, the relationship is good, but this circumstance has made me investigate other things she said since then, more critically. Am I the idiot for not being able to get past what she said and let it bleed into our current relationship? We've only dated for 5 months, and she tells me to get over it, more or less. Sorry, dude, but there are red flags everywhere. She's nearly 30 and partakes in drinking holidays, whatever that means. Bringing up her ex when intoxicated or angry, says she would have had more fun going home with him. Now actively bringing up your crying in a non-compassionate way, I assume to shame you? There's something really mean I can say about you, but I'm not going to say it. And this? Dude, do you really want to get married to a girl like this? Not the idiot. She sounds like she hasn't evolved past school. Explanation. Drinking holiday refers to holidays like St. Patrick's Day, when people go out after the parade and drink the day or night away. And it's just fine to enjoy those well into life, so long as you don't let drinking interfere with grown-up responsibilities. In fact, occasionally cutting loose is quite healthy because it lets you blow off steam and reset yourself. However, girlfriend has a mean streak. You have every right to be upset when someone is mean to you and tells you to get over it. If she's like this after only 5 months, you're in trouble because it'll probably get a lot worse. My brother is 29 and has been with Leah for about 2 years. We all like her. She's super nice. I'm getting married next April and sent an invite to my brother's apartment. We decided to send invites to households rather than individuals. For example, our aunt received an invite for her family rather than for each individual. Last Thursday, we met at my parents' place. It was just the core family because of some tax reasons, LOL. While there, I asked my brother about Leah's dietary restrictions. I know that she's a vegetarian for health reasons and that she can't have certain raw vegetables. He said she wouldn't come, and he was taking his girl best friend, Amanda, instead. Now, their relationship is weird as heck. Amanda's always been stringing my brother along, in my opinion. He always denies having feelings for her, but let's be real here. Amanda would date other guys and blow off my brother, and then when things were declining with their partners, she would be attracted to him again. Her last boyfriend broke up with her right around the time my brother, his then ex-girlfriend Amanda, and her ex were supposed to travel to Spain. What did my idiot brother do? Go with Amanda alone, because Amanda was uncomfortable with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously, he acted blindsided when his girlfriend broke up with him. I didn't even say anything anymore because it was all so weird. So when he said that, I asked if Leah had other plans, but my brother said that Amanda had asked if she could come because it would be an opportunity to finally see the old gang. We were in the same friend group in high school. I told him I would have invited Amanda if I wanted her there. Amanda's mean and cold. She always makes disparaging comments about other girls. At every event, around 1 hour in, she'll make some sort of scene that either has her running away crying or sitting mad at a table, telling everyone to leave her alone, and then making a cryptic comment about something hurting her. I told my brother I was revoking his +1, and Amanda was not coming to our wedding. He accused me of being misogynistic and bigoted because I don't understand opposite gender friendships, which is BS. My husband has a female childhood friend who's his best woman. I love her too, and she's been amazing. And she respects boundaries. She's always included me and made a huge effort when I started dating my fiancé to integrate me into the friend group. Anyway, I said my decision was final. He could take it or leave it, but I would be inviting Leah myself because I like her. He screamed at me and told me to keep out of his business. I said to get rid of his weird feelings for Amanda. He's mad at me. My dad said it was none of our deal. My mom is furious with my brother. So, am I the idiot? Your brother's a real idiot. He'll be single again very soon, unless he learns to consider and appreciate his partners. Based on his reaction to Princess Amanda not being invited, I don't see that happening. But quite apart from that, you can disinvite unpleasant people from your wedding. Brother can pound sand, not the idiot. But, just to be safe, tell Leah she's invited even if she's not with your brother anymore at the time of the wedding. Because let's be real here, she can do a lot better. And it's just a matter of time before she realizes that and dumps him. Let Leah have a +1 so she can enjoy herself. That would make her feel truly welcome. Your brother is a major idiot, and I don't blame you at all for not wanting his side piece at your wedding. I also wouldn't blame you if you didn't want him at your wedding. I, 47 female, was married for 21 years with 3 kids, 1 male teen, 1 female teen, and a young male teen, when my husband died from a stroke. My husband was a great man who always tried his best. He always had his heart set on being an entrepreneur, but struggled with making tough business decisions. 2 years before the stroke that killed him, he had another stroke, and that made him prone to impulsive decisions. He hired a friend, a lousy bookkeeper, who gave him further bad advice. My husband insisted I stop working when our youngest son was born. Before that, I worked part-time as a receptionist and then helped him with administrative tasks. Co-signed on business loans I didn't fully understand and was on a business bank account. I supported him through the lows, and when one business failed, and then he started another. My youngest son, Mark, is severely autistic. My husband died with a lot of debt and a lot of negligence in terms of bookkeeping and taxes. I tried parlaying my unique experience into being the head of admin of a household with an autistic kid to executive assistant roles or school jobs. Still, besides being a noon aide job, the schools were not hiring. My sister invited us all to stay with her and share household expenses, but she told me about a few months in that her twin daughter was afraid of Mark, and my brother-in-law started claiming Mark's expenses were an excessive burden. They said Mark needed to leave, which translated to me having to leave, but I had $120 in my account then. They evicted us, but it's only on my record, 4 months ago, and my kids and I had to first live in a car and then in a shelter. My sister then calls my older kids behind my back and tells them that if they can continue to keep their room clean as before and pull their weight around the house, they could move back in. Then she and my kids exchange texts, and then they complain about how dealing with shelters and motels has affected their brother. My kids then tell me they want to move back to their aunt's house. I tell them she evicted me, and by extension, all of us. And if she doesn't want me or her brother there, then she doesn't want any of us because we're a unit. Despite that, they continue to want to live with their aunt. I asked them, what kind of mom would I be if I just gave my kids away to somebody else? And I didn't understand why they weren't angrier at their aunt and uncle for saying their younger brother was a burden and how them hurting him hurt me and them too. I told them if they wanted to go, they had arms and legs, but if they made this decision, I know that their brother would feel like they were traitors, and I felt betrayed too. Am I the idiot? They're still with me, and I really, as a mom, feel it's unthinkable to just be separate from my young kids and still feel like I like to tell them a hard no, that they need to stay with me because we're a family, even when times are a bit tough now. I've got a feeling your oldest two believe you're punishing them for failing to have financial security, your husband's and your responsibility, having support for the youngest, having a place to stay, your emotional manipulation, calling them traitors for wanting some resemblance for normality and stability is something they'll always remember. And it won't take much more and or longer until their breaking point. Then they'll decide if it's worth being around you. Keep in mind that they are old enough to understand, and in a couple of years they'll be legal adults, and you won't be able to force anything from them. You are the idiot. I don't know, man. I can totally see my narcissistic mom spewing crap like that. She legit called me a traitor for staying with my father when they divorced, and she moved out. I was over the age of 18, and crazy enough, I'd rather stay in my nice home with my dog than go move into a tiny one-bedroom apartment with her. OP, you keep saying that as a mother, the number one priority is to keep your family together. Wrong. The number one priority is keeping your family safe. You're only thinking about yourself. Love is unselfish. Love means you want the best for the child, even if the best isn't you. Don't force your kids into homelessness. That's actually insane. Instead, be deeply grateful that your bills are reduced by 2 mouths and that those kids are way better off where they are. I'm sorry for the way that your life is gone, but you are the idiot. Don't force these kids to give up a chance at success in life just because you can't offer that to them. My nearly adult male, mom has 2 older kids, 24 male and 23 male. We don't have the same father. Growing up, they always made it known that they didn't like me and that I wasn't their brother. I was always hurt by it, but after a while, I just stopped caring. They were never nice to me, and as they got older, they kind of stopped visiting my mom, and when they would visit, they'd ignore me. Once my mom gave birth to my little brother, toddler, they started visiting more, and their relationship with my mom and stepdad improved. Seeing them interact and play with my brother always made me upset because they're always gentle and caring when it comes to him, but were always so hateful towards me. It's not that I want my brother to be mistreated, it's just that I wish they were like that with me as well. I have nothing but hate for them, and my mom knows this. The thing is, my mom wants to go on a family vacation in July. July is when she has her birthday, and she wants to spend it with her family. I didn't realize this meant her older kids would come as well this time. We went on 2 vacations before my brother was born, but her older kids never came. This would be the first trip we would have with my brother, and since she's close with their kids now, she thinks it's good for them to come. I don't agree. I mean, I don't care if they come, but I don't want to go if they're going. My mom's husband backed me up at first because they weren't nice to him either, but when my mom became upset, he kind of changed his mind and started backing her up, asking me to reconsider. I again told them no. My mom told me that she wanted all of her kids to come along, but I told her that I wasn't going on a trip with people who literally made me miserable growing up. She told me that she could ask them to apologize for how they treated me, but in my eyes, no apology would ever be good enough, especially if it was forced. My mom knows how they treated me growing up, and knowing that she still wants me to go with them upsets me. Mom has been crying, and my stepdad's been asking me to reconsider for my mom's sake. He told me that he doesn't want them to come either, but he's doing it so my mom can be happy. I want my mom to be happy, but I don't see why I have to go. Am I an idiot for not wanting to go on a family vacation? She told me that she can ask them to apologize for how they treated me. Now she wants them to apologize? Not the idiot. Why didn't she intervene when you were growing up? They abused you 11 years before she even realized and still did nothing? She's a terrible, terrible mother, OP. It doesn't matter how much you think you love her. She's been a really bad mother to you. She can keep her guilt tripping and crocodile tears. You should do the same she did when her children abused you. Nothing. Tell her to get over it and be sorry if she thinks her feelings are hurt. Also, she should be ashamed of herself for having so many children and still being a terrible mother.